debut of Half Horse Tarot. I am here with your free general August 2018 tarot reading. First and foremost, I want to go ahead and apologize for your video coming out so late. I've had a lot of stuff going on and have just now had the chance to get around to doing your reading. So I am very, very sorry for the short delay there to get your reading out to you all. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and jump right into your reading, and we'll start with your central issue for the month, which is the Nine of Crystals in the reverse. So for some of you guys, this card may manifest itself as some financial issues. You guys might be in a bit of a slump this month. I don't think it's really, necessarily terribly bad, because if you do look in the card, she does have all of these crystals accumulated in her chest. But there could be, a bit of a slowdown or a block to getting some funds, especially if you guys do work in a private business where, money isn't always guaranteed from week to week or month to month. But for a lot of you guys, I think it's going to be more so an issue of independence, because when we have this card in the upright, the Nine of Crystals or the Nine of Pentacles in the traditional tarot deck, you can see that there's this female who's really standing on her own. She doesn't really need the help of a man to accumulate wealth. She has all of this beauty and splendor around her, and obviously she's in possession of quite a bit of wealth. So she's kind of making her own way in the world and not really in need of anybody's help. Some of the reverse, some of you guys may feel that you aren't able to act independently or you're afraid to do so. For example, if you are working for a major company, maybe you want to get out and start your own business, but you're scared to take that step because, you'd be leaving behind something reliable and jumping off into something that you aren't entirely sure you're going to be able to handle or manage on your own. So that's just an example of how that can manifest. But something else I get with this card is also the notion of kind of imprisonment, not in the sense of being in jail, but feeling confined, feeling restricted. There are other cards that kind of echo that throughout your reading. So some of you guys may just feel that you're not in a situation where there's any upward mobility, especially if we're talking about a workplace situation, or you're just feeling maybe a little bit isolated and off on your own, and that's not necessarily a feeling that you enjoy. In terms of relationships, some of you guys may be single and dreading it. Others of you guys may have recently gone off the market, but I think that it might be more of the former, trying to look for love, for a new relationship, if that's relevant to you. And also, I think that there may be an element here of being overly preoccupied with what others have. This lady has all of these crystals piled up in this chest, but in the upright, you might be able to see her face a little bit better. She doesn't really seem too happy about what she has. It's like what's there isn't good enough because maybe there are other people around her, in her friend circle or whatever, who have more or who are doing better. So some of you guys may be feeling a little bit insecure, maybe feeling as though maybe you're not in the place you thought you would be in life at this point in time. Like maybe you're in your mid to late 20s and everybody around you is getting their careers off the ground, getting married, having kids, whatever, and you're just kind of doing your own thing and you don't really want to be in that situation. Or maybe there are people who are in better jobs than you, making more money than you, and that's making you feel insecure about what you have. So there are a lot of messages that can go along with that card. Just apply whichever one fits for you. Taking a look at your distant past, we have the Eight of Orbs, which is the Eight of Swords in the traditional tarot deck. It is in the upright, which isn't something I necessarily like to see. It is in the distant past, but it would be nice to see this card in the reverse. So I think that a lot of you guys have been mentally kind of imprisoning yourselves. Maybe there's a bit of an element of fear. I know that's kind of associated with the Nine of Swords, but I think a lot of you guys may have been in a position where you felt trapped, but you were too scared to kind of remove that blindfold and realize that the situation isn't as bad as you thought it was. Maybe you aren't as trapped as you thought you were. So I think that some of you guys may still be going through that, because there is some blocked energy here, some emotional drainage, just a general unhappiness or displeasure with your current situation. But the positive side of this card is that everything is in your head. This prison that you've sort of entombed yourselves in doesn't really exist. So for those of you who may have been restricting yourselves on a mental level, really holding yourselves back, if you're still in that kind of thought process, really work hard this month to lift that blindfold and take stock of your situation for what it truly is. So in the recent past, we have the Ace of Flames in reverse, or the Ace of Wands. Again, we actually have 3 aces in this tarot spread, more than I've had in any other sign that I've done. So the aces to me are blocked energy. You have a new beginning here. I think it's still on offer for a lot of you guys. It's just that something has been holding you back from seizing or capitalizing on that new beginning. Going back to this 8 of Orbs, maybe that's what's been holding you back, this kind of negative mental state, or this mental prison that you've trapped yourselves in has made it difficult for you to seize on any new opportunities that have come your way. But this new beginning is definitely here for you guys. This would be a physical beginning. It could be an actual physical movement, a new physical path. It could be a manifestation of something creative or something that you feel passionate about. So maybe you guys have been wanting to quit your job and open up a new business in a different city, something that you're really into, really passionate about, something you've always wanted to pursue. You just haven't been able to make that leap yet and get it done because you feel like you're stuck, or you have some things that you have to wrap up, and those things are holding you back. So that, again, is just another example. The Ace of Wands or the Ace of Flames can sometimes symbolize romance. I don't really get that energy here, so I don't really see the potential for a new relationship this month. I think this is mostly going to be work related, physical residence related, whether or not you're going to make an actual physical move somewhere else. Your finances, maybe your social circle, but not so much romance for you guys. But I think it's going to be positive, because I do see a lot of transformative energy here. And, there may be new romances that pop up for some of you, just because of the overwhelming number of aces that are here. So they can manifest in a lot of ways. So do just keep that in mind. The way that I use this spread is that all the cards that are above your central issue are things that may be external energies to you. So they could be energies that are brought in to your life by the universe. They may be things that other people are doing to you. They could also be things that are just going on in your head. Some of you guys with the 4 of Flames or the 4 of Wands in reverse here may be feeling like things are a little bit unstable or out of control in your lives. Maybe some of you guys are actually desiring to shake things up. In the upright, as is in the traditional 4 of Wands, you have all these flowers, there's this really pretty sunset, this really nice castle. It's a really pretty positive scene. In the reverse, some of you guys may be feeling restricted by that kind of stability. You've built something up, there's good cause to celebrate, you're in a good place, but some of you guys may be yearning for something more. Others of you may just be feeling, again, a little bit kind of rocky this month, a little bit unstable, like things are, kind of going out of control a bit. You're not really sure what to do, how you want to proceed. When I clarify these, it's linked to the Ace of Flames in reverse and a Seeker of Orbs in reverse, which is the Page of Swords reversed in the traditional tarot deck. So I do think that there's this element of, where this energy, where this insight and clarity is blocked, and as a result, in terms of your stability, you're feeling things are a little bit off. But I do think that whatever is off is going to be resolved, because this card also does link up with the Ace of Orbs or the Ace of Swords in the traditional tarot, and it is in the upright. So whatever confusion you guys may be feeling, it's not going to last. It's definitely a very temporary situation. Beneath that, we have the Ace of Crystals, which in the traditional tarot deck is the Ace of Pentacles. It is in the upright. So I'm actually really excited to see this card. I don't think that this is something that's going on in your head. I actually think that this is going to be some sort of offer from somebody else in your life, or something that comes in by way of spirit, a totally new beginning, something related to your practical or material world. So that could manifest in a lot of ways for you guys. It could be a new job coming in. It could be, maybe you're buying a new house, whatever the situation may be. Coupled with this Four of Flames in reverse, it could actually indicate a physical move. Maybe you've sold your home, and that's why there is that instability. You're moving from one place to another, and you just bought the house, and everything is being worked out in terms of contracts and due diligence and all the stuff you go through when you purchase a home. For others of you, if this does relate to your job, maybe you're having to leave a job that you've been in for a while that's brought you stability, so you can go off on this new path. So, kind of apply that to your particular situation, but ultimately I think it's definitely something positive. I do think that there might be some delays, just because we have so many Wands cards here in reverse. So things may be held up for a little bit, but I think that's going to be resolved. Maybe not by the end of this month, but soon. I would say, if I had to guess, by September for a lot of you guys. Maybe the end of October, September. So every card that is beneath your central issue, or things that are in your foundation. Now these are things that you have more control over, or things that you already know, stuff that you've been bringing with you into the month. So these are less of a surprise, and they're definitely things that you have more control over. And for your first card, we have Ascension in reverse, which is the World card in reverse. And going back to what I said about a lot of you guys maybe trying to make new moves, we do have a lot of aces, so there are a lot of new beginnings for you guys. Trying to wrap things up, figuring out what your next path is. For those of you who have been going through that process, you're almost there with this card in the reverse. It's like things may be going a bit slow. There may be, again, delays, like I said, but ultimately you guys are going to be the ones who have control over wrapping up this part of your life, and it's going to be a major life cycle. So it's going to be precipitating a major change and transformation for you guys, which I think is really exciting. And with the number of aces we have here, I think it's going to be, for most of you guys, some really positive opportunities that are coming your way. So again, there might just be some delays with wrapping everything up, maybe making sure that you're in a good place mentally where you're willing to kind of cut that cord and jump into something new. Or maybe you're waiting on some legal documents, or some communication before you are able to move forward. Whatever that may be, you're almost there. You're almost at the end of that cycle. So just wait a little while longer, and I think that all is going to be made clear. And beneath that, we have the Ace of Orbs in the upright, which is the Ace of Swords in the traditional tarot deck. This card symbolizes clarity, victory, success. It's just really crystal clear beginnings. Like, you cut through all of the nonsense, you cut through lies and deceit, and you just see things crystal clear. And I think a lot of you guys are going to do that. Like I said, a lot of you guys are going to cut that cord. Maybe you are just waiting for the right opportunity to do so. Others of you who are a little bit uncertain about how you want to move forward, that clarity is going to come to you. Maybe you'll receive a message or some communication that really clears things up. I do think, with this card being connected to the Ace of Flames in reverse, when I try to clarify it, I do think that, whatever delays have been going on in your recent past, you're going to really get the ball rolling and try to move things forward and wrap up this major life cycle. So going into the near future, we have the Seeker of Orbs in reverse, which, like I said, is the Page of Swords in the traditional tarot deck. And I'll show you the card in the upright because the imagery is a bit different. You have this lady who is wrapped all up in a cloak, and she's walking through a really dark, wintry kind of wood, and she just has this ball of light to guide her way. And so in the reverse, I think, like I said, some of you guys may be feeling a little bit lost. Maybe you aren't entirely sure about your next move. Maybe you're not entirely sure about how to free yourself from this mental prison. But the orbs or the sword suit's all about things that are going on in your head. So whatever this uncertainty, this confusion is, it's all kind of self-made. It's just inside your mind, and the light is there. The way out is gonna be made clear to you guys. Just wait, and you're going to see, again, you're going to see that proverbial light and be able to figure out the best way to move forward. So do keep that in mind. I think there's definitely clarity coming your way. Just do make sure that in your communications with other people that you're not being overly harsh or crass or, brutally honest to the point where you hurt other people's feelings. If you're leaving a job or a relationship or whatever, try to make sure that you're doing it in a way that's positive and that's not going to burn bridges, because that card in the reverse can indicate some harsh communications with other people. So I do just want to throw that out there in case that resonates with any of you guys. And then in your distant future, we have the Nine of Chalices or the Nine of Cups in the traditional tarot, and it is in the reverse. I'll show you the card in the upright. You have this man, he's got a real big smile on his face, these 9 cups, the light shining through the window and shining on his cups and all the stuff that he's amassed. In the reverse, some of you guys, by the end of the month, may be feeling a little bit unhappy. Like I said, if there are delays with wrapping up this cycle and moving on into something new, some of you guys may be a little bit frustrated that it is taking so long. Again, some of you guys on a mental or emotional level may be feeling a little bit trapped, insecure, unhappy and just emotionally unfulfilled with where you guys are right now. Do keep in mind a lot of this is going to be stuff that's going on in your own head. It's not really real tangible fears. And then on another note, this card may just be, feeling emotionally drained. If you are going through all of these changes, if you do have all these aces on offer, it's going to be a really radical shift for you guys, especially with the Ascension or the World card showing up here, even though it is in reverse. And dealing with all of those changes can just be really draining. So it's not necessarily a negative thing. I do just think that the cards are making it a point for you guys to make sure that on a mental and emotional level, you guys are making, trying to take care of yourselves and not allow yourselves to, bog yourselves down emotionally, be holding yourselves back due to fear. If there are delays, letting those delays get the best of you. So do just keep that in mind. I don't think it's really negative energy, but just try to make sure that you're pacing yourselves and not doing so much to the point where you do find yourself in a situation where you're feeling really drained. Because the overall energy of your spread is the Two of Crystals or the Two of Pentacles. It is in the upright, so there is this person doing this juggling act. And when you're trying to balance everything in your life and keep everything upright and stable, that can be a little bit overwhelming. So again, just make sure that you guys are doing your best to practice some self-care and make sure that you're not giving too much of yourselves before you get to the finish line. I do also have another deck here. It's an Oracle card deck, and I use these cards to kind of interpret past and future energies for you guys. So taking a look at the past energy, which is, the energy you had that you've been bringing into this month, you have the Cheetah card or Vigor, and this kind of goes back to what I've been saying with biting off more than you can chew. This card shows up when, you're concerned about maybe superficial things and about how you're being perceived by other people. You might be trying too hard to make something happen. If you're trying to get a new job or a job promotion, maybe you're trying so hard to put in hours and make sure that you're doing a perfect job on every assignment that you have, that you're, wearing yourselves thin, spreading yourselves too thin. So make sure that you are not, trying to bite off more than you can chew and achieve more than you are able to right now. So make sure that you make an effort to reach out to other people, get together with your friends and family, have time to decompress and pull away from whatever it is that is, causing you stress. Some of these changes that have been trying to come into your lives may be, like I said, draining you guys. And so just make sure that you rely on the people who support you to really see you through all of these changes. And so I do think that some of you guys have been dealing with situations where you have been giving too much of yourselves, your time and your energy in the past. So moving forward, make sure you're not doing that, especially this month. If there are any delays and stuff, things that are outside of your control to, really change. Going into the future, we have the Tiger card, or cowardice. And this energy to me is like, when you think about the tiger, it's somebody who's full of power and intensity and vigor, and they confront all of their issues head on. They, they may stalk people in the shadows or their prey in the shadows, but they're the ones who jump out and get what it is that they are looking for. The downside to tigers is the fact that they do hide in shadows, and you want to make sure that you're not doing that this month, that you're not reverting inwardly too much and missing opportunities because you're scared that maybe you're not going to be able to achieve or attain whatever it is that you want. So, this card pops up to remind you guys to look what you fear in the eye, and pursue the things that you want. Be open with people. Don't hide. Again, when I mentioned the Seeker of Orbs in reverse, talking about that communication that may be a little bit harsh or blunt, you're being encouraged to speak openly and be truthful, but there definitely is a way to go about that where you're going to have some tact. So do make sure that if some of you guys are going to be opening up to those around you, that you're not completely going off the rails and burning bridges. But ultimately, as you move forward throughout the month, just really seize whatever opportunities are coming your way. You do have 3 aces. We have the Ace of Crystals, Orbs, and Flames here, even though the Flames is in reverse. We have Ascension, or the World card here. There's a lot of endings and wrapping things up, but there's also a lot of new beginnings. So make sure you seize the opportunities as they come and don't let fear hold you back from doing so. So I hope that this resonated with some of you guys. It looks like it's going to be a really exciting month. I do want to go ahead and mention that I am going to be doing mid-month updates for you guys. I'll make sure to hit you guys first so that I can make up for being late getting these readings out. But they're going to be shorter readings. I'm going to be posting those probably in the next few days. If this messages didn't resonate with you, make sure you check your moon and rising signs. You might be able to find some more information there that's more pertinent to your situation. So that's all I have for you guys for your monthly reading, and I will see you with your mid-month update in a couple of days.